Welcome back to Big Sky Media Day, streaming live all day, getting you prepared for tip-off for the 2019-2020 season. We're here with Southern Utah women's basketball coach Tracy Sanders and point guard Rebecca Cardenas. Thanks for being with us today. And let's just dive right into it. We got about 10 minutes here. So, Coach, let's go back to last season real quick. You go to Boise and get the first Big Sky tournament win in a long time for this program. Just what did that mean to this team to go up to Boise and get that W?
I think, we went into it focused and excited to play. And I think that that was huge for us, to go through the season and then go into the tournament and still be excited about playing and just ready to go when we got there. And I think it did. It was a big step for the program, I think. And I think hopefully it gave us some confidence, what we kind of instilled throughout the season. We got to kind of see that come together there at the tournament in that first game. So it was great.
Becca, just being here, that was your third year, coming up on your fourth. What did it mean for you as a player to finally get that tournament win? Was it a sigh of relief almost?
It was definitely special. I wouldn't say it was a sigh of relief because we didn't go in not confident. We kind of expected to win. We love our matchup against Montana. We had just played them 2 games before. So we beat them at home, and we knew we like our matchup with this team. We know we can beat them. And after that first win, it just was the result of just working hard all season. And even though we didn't have the season that we may have expected, that was just definitely the cherry on top for us. So.
Awesome. Coach, as you head into this season, your second year as head coach of the program, how are things different? Do things feel any different?
It feels different just in there's that comfort of, we have a year under our belt. I think our returners kind of know what the expectations are. They're starting to get to a point where they're holding each other accountable and saying the things that, we say as a coaching staff. And I think that shows you're moving in the right direction, when your players are reiterating the things that you say every day. And so they're starting to get to that point. And so I think that feels good. And just excited. Really excited about this group. I think, we have a lot more bodies this year. Practices have been more competitive. And, I think people are fighting for spots right now, which is fun to see.
You guys have been practicing for a couple weeks now. What have you seen out of those first couple weeks out here in the American First Event Center?
I do think the level of competition is a lot higher. We're able to, just having more people, we're able to do a lot more, getting up and down the court. We have, a good freshman group that's come in that I feel like is pushing the upperclassmen. And so that's fun to see. And I think they're also learning a lot from the returners. So it's been really fun to watch. They've worked so hard, throughout the summer, and then to come in and have that same mindset when the school year started. And so I think they just continue to get better and keep working hard.
Becca, what have you seen from a player's perspective through these first couple of weeks?
I think Coach hit it right on. Like she said, we're competitive. I think this is the most competitive team that I've been a part of, for sure. Everyone's just going out and trying their best to prove themselves and show what they can bring to the team. And I think that's really good because then we all work harder and we all try harder in practice, and then that will translate to games.
Ever since you were a freshman, you were a leader on the floor, but now as a senior, you're kind of looked to as a leader in all aspects. Yeah. How has your approach changed as you've entered your senior year here?
Yeah, I think I've always tried to be that leader for the team. Even as a freshman, it was a little bit harder. So now I have more experience, but besides being more in the training room and getting more treatment on stuff because I'm a senior now, I think my approach has pretty much been the same, just preparing my body a little bit better just to get ready for season.
Coach, when you look at the team, you mentioned a good group of veterans. Who are some players that have stood out to you through this first month here?
Becca sitting right here, she is definitely, I think the leader. I think she sets the example every single day for our team of what it means to compete and bring, that effort, that competitive edge that she has. And I think she pulls people with her. I think we have a couple of freshmen that are doing really well that are going to see, some good minutes, and I think that just give us some more scoring options. So it's just been fun. I think the group that we have returning, they're right where they were and continuing to get better. And so I think the biggest thing right now is figuring out everyone's role and how we all come together. We have some freshmen who averaged a ton of points in high school, came from winning programs, and so now how do those pieces fit in with what we currently have and playing together as a team? So I think that's really where we're at, is just figuring out those roles and how how to be the best team we can be. Make a teammate better. We talk about that all the time. Give up a okay shot for a great shot, and just being patient and working together to be better.
One player coming back for you, Big Sky fans are probably familiar with, is Dari Franson.
Mm-hmm.
She was Bench Player of the Year before she left on a mission. And what have you seen from her coming back off
and I hadn't seen a ton of Dari prior to getting here. Have heard a ton about her. Obviously, her mom was a great player here, but she works hard. I mean, she's a kid that just does everything that you ask her to do. Probably one of the best offensive rebounders I've ever coached. She just has a knack for going and getting the ball. She doesn't give up on plays. She plays really hard. I think she's competitive. So I think she really helps us, elevates us in the post area.
Okay, you played with Dari your freshman year. Has there been a learning curve coming back, or have you guys kind of picked up where you left off?
No, I think we definitely picked up right where we left off. I think she did a good job of working hard and just, she was out for 2 years, but you wouldn't even be able to tell. That's how much work she's put in to make sure that she's right on track, and I think it's great. I'm excited.
Awesome. Coach, looking at the schedule, a couple big contests. UNLV here at home will be a big one for the home fans. You go to Utah Valley, and then, of course, a big road trip to Oregon State. Very good program. As you look up and down the schedule, what are your thoughts towards it?
I think we have some good tests ahead of us. I think that Oregon State game, obviously a huge game. I'm sure, our girls will be excited to play. Great venue to play at. We do have some new teams that we picked up this year with UNLV, Grand Canyon. So we have a couple, we have a lot of return games from last year, but then we have a couple new ones, which I think will be fun for us. But I think it's going to be a test for us in the preseason and hopefully get us ready for, conference play.
I know as a player you have the first game circled, and that's probably the only one you want to think about. But as you look at the schedule, what are some contests you're excited about this year?
I'm excited for all games. I'm senior, so I definitely have to just enjoy every single game. But I'm definitely excited for Oregon State because we played on my freshman year. So I think me and Dari might be the only two playing again, freshman, and she's a junior, I'm a senior. And I think it's just really exciting because they have some really great players. I played against Sydney Weiss my freshman year. She's now in the WNBA. So just going against players like that, it's super exciting.
Coach, first full year in the Big Sky last year. Now that you've had some time to think about it as you're preparing for this season, what were your thoughts of the Big Sky after 1 year in the league?
I love the conference. It's amazing. I think it's a great conference. I think it's a fun conference to be in. You have to come ready to play every night. It's one of those things I feel like on any night anyone can get it. I think the tough thing in this conference is the travel. That's something I think last year, just getting that year under our belt and kind of figuring out the best way to do things, because we had some tough ones last year where we're coming in at 3-4 in the morning, and so that it takes getting used to. And I think for our girls, it's I think it proves how tough they are that they're able to kind of weather that and get up and get back at it the next day. But I think it's a great conference. I think it really is. I'm really excited for this year and see where we're at.
Okay, you're a Big Sky veteran now. What are your thoughts heading into your last year? Is there any teams you have circled you want to beat? Any players you want to?
I mean, not really. I know a lot of us are excited to play UVU just because Coach Morgan left over there, so we're excited for that game. But I think it's just making sure that the team understands every game is important. And yeah, we have those certain games circled, but let's go out and give every game our best, because I think if we play like we did against BYU last year, which was a huge game that everyone's looking forward to, we'll have a good season.
Gotcha. Coach, you have your exhibition game November 1st here at home against Ottawa, and then your regular season opener about a week later. What are you hoping to see from this team between now and then?
I mean, we do still have a lot of work to do. We're putting in some new things different from last year, so I think, that's taking a little bit of time. And, we sit down every day and plan for practice and kind of look back on the day before and reflect and figure out the things that we need to work on and get better at. We still haven't put in EOBs or anything like that, so it's still, there's still a lot to do before that. We have a couple of inter-squad scrimmages. We have a scrimmage with Dixie State. That'll be, a close scrimmage that I think will help us and kind of see where we're at going into those. But, I think the thing right now is just focusing on getting better every single day and really paying attention to details.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and make sure you stay tuned for more preseason Big Sky Media Day here on Pluto TV and WatchBigSky.com. Welcome back to Big Sky Basketball Media Day, streaming live on Pluto TV and WatchBigSky.com. We're back with the Southern Utah men's basketball team, head coach Todd Simon and Cameron Oluyitan here with us to talk all things Southern Utah men's basketball. Coach, thanks for being here with us. We'll start with you. Let's go back to the end of last season. Qualify here at Southern Utah for the postseason for only the second time in school history. Some home games here in the America First Event Center. What did it mean to get this team to the postseason and have those games here in Cedar City?
Well, this is a fantastic step for our program as we continue to build this thing into a championship contender year in, year out, and having it here in Cedar City was a great piece of exposure for our community to kind of see just where we're at, and obviously getting a huge win in that first game. Was a big deal. It was a big deal for us, and we're just going to continue to grow off of that and build off of the momentum that we've kind of built here, and hopefully we continue to build crowds, build support, and take our winning to the next level.
Cam, let's go back to those games from a player perspective. To have those two contests at home in March, just how much fun was that down on the floor?
Oh yeah, it was really fun just to have a game like that in Cedar City. Something for the fans. I know they loved it, and like he said, it's a big step forward for Southern Utah because postseason hasn't happened in a while. So we're just looking to build off that, really.
Coach, let's look at these first couple of weeks of practice out here, full-time practice. What have you seen out of this group, and what's impressed you so far?
Well, I've loved our passion, and our energy level's been very good. We're competitive. We've got great leadership. We're able to do so much more having seniors like Cam that know what we're doing, and for the first time in our here in our fourth year, we're able to kind of build off of what we already know as opposed to teaching everything new, and so that's going to be really good for us, and having the playmakers now in place that can just when a play breaks down, go make a play. And know our spacing and know the simple stuff and do it at a high level. It has been rewarding.
Cam, Coach mentioned the veteran leadership. You guys have a lot of seniors, a lot of guys that have played a lot of basketball at this point. How much does that help you guys as you're preparing for this season?
Oh, it's definitely a big help because, like you said, we have a lot of leaders, and we're just out there helping the young guys get to know like how we play and everything. So that's just stuff like that. Having Dwayne Morgan back is definitely a huge step. Having Big Dre back, having Lil Dre, he's turning into a leader. Like having me, it's definitely just a help, especially if it take a load off him and to help the young guys.
When you look at this season coming up for you, it'll be your senior season. Has your approach changed at all going into this year? Is the mindset different? Or?
A little bit. Just like you said, it's my last year, so all I'm thinking is win and just doing whatever it takes to do that. That's because I know last year it was kind of my first year really playing Division I basketball in an actual role. So now it's different. Like this is my last year, so now I'm just looking just to win.
Coach, when you look at this upcoming year, you guys have some higher expectations on you than you have in previous seasons. As a coaching staff, how do you work with that with the team to make sure everybody's staying level-headed through the year?
Yeah, for us, the pressure is a privilege. We like to approach it that way. We want all of that, and I think it because A, it creates an excitement, and B, it's a little bit of an acknowledgement that the program's headed in the right direction. That being said, we got to understand what it is. That has nothing to do with the level of work that it's going to take. It has nothing to do with how our own internal expectations are going to be and the standards that we're going to hold our team to.
As we get closer and closer to that first game, kind of what are some areas you guys have really been working on in practice, and where do you want to see this team improve before that November 5th date hits?
Well, a big thing for us, we've had with so many new faces coming off redshirt years, number of pieces returning. You know, we're kind of establishing roles. We're establishing things that we're kind of adding on. We're playing a little bit different style. We've played fast the last couple of years. I think we can play faster. I think we have depth now of veterans. We're going to have a lot of starter level guys, and so that's the role allocation and just kind of deciphering the energy level that we can play for a sustained period of time without having to conserve because we have another body behind you that can really contribute is something we're kind of learning from one another.
Cam, you mentioned some of the veteran guys. Who are some of the younger guys that Thunderbird fans might not be super familiar with yet that they're going to know pretty soon here?
I think Josh Cornish is going to be a big name here. He's definitely one of our best shooters. He's a knockdown shooter, and he's just lethal at it. He does what he does good. And probably Damani McIntyre. He just does what the little things just does. He's just a hustle guy, and he'll get into you. And I definitely think that'll be a big help for us.
Coach, how do you balance between all these veteran guys you have and then guys like Mason Fawcett and Harrison Butler in their sophomore year that had a lot of playing time as a freshman?
Well, I think the greater good is going to be a huge message that we're going to have to embrace, because we're going to have guys that probably in any one of the last 3 years might play 30 minutes a game, and here might be in a role where they're one of 10 players playing minutes. So I think it's the game has changed a little bit, but if our hearts and minds are set on winning and achieving what our team goals are, I think we're going to be just fine. But I think I think our style will lend to playing a lot of guys. We want to press and trap and get up into people and get up and down the floor. We want to play offense with a pace. So I think there's a lot of pluses to having this depth that we can now take advantage of.
When you look at the schedule, you guys scheduled some big-time opponents this year, something you've done in the past, but this year you got Nebraska, UCLA, BYU, some big opportunities on the schedule to go on the road and get some big-time wins. Kind of what was the thought process putting this schedule together for this year?
Yeah, I think I saw that the data was showing that we have the toughest schedule in the league and non-conference once again, and that's something we want to do every year. We're going to recruit very good players, and very good players want to play against the best competition, and so we're going to always build it that way and see what we're made out of, and essentially get us to be the best you can be, and then by the end of the year let the cards fall where they may. But that's our philosophy. We'll play anybody everywhere, and preferably the toughest opponents that we can find, and I know our guys will get up for it, and I think that's what iron sharpens iron is very true in college basketball. And we don't want to be one of these fake 20-win teams that just breeze through a light schedule and not feel great about it. We want to challenge ourselves.
Cam, when you look at those big-time games, the approach to those obviously going to be the same, but which of those are you looking forward to the most?
I probably like the UCLA game. I've never played in a game that big, and I think it's definitely a good opportunity to put Southern Utah on the map. So I definitely have that one marked on my calendar.
Coach, looking at the Big Sky this season, there's a lot of talent in this league this upcoming year, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of parity in this league. Kind of what is your viewpoint on the Big Sky as we head into the year at this point?
Well, it's a little bit of there's some wild cards in this league. Certainly the league from top to bottom has been good. In the last 3 years, it's been a very quality league with quality coaching, quality players, and obviously anyone that's traveled this league knows how hard it is to get to places and to win on the road. So that kind of lends to a very very much an evened out league. Some upsets and teams that can make a difference up and down the standings. So this year is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. There were some senior-laden teams and some very good players that have left the league, and there's going to be some newness, a lot of new coaches. So now you're going to have to kind of wait and see. So, but we kind of handle ourselves, and we don't really look too far beyond what's going on in our practice floor. We get ready and get ourselves ready. We'll be our number one opponent this year.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you stay tuned the rest of the day here on WatchBigSky.com and Pluto TV for all your men's basketball coverage here in the Big Sky Conference.